Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really plunging into some interesting material. It's all focused on something pretty vital for businesses wanting to, really grow online advertising.
That's right. And this isn't just generic advice, is it? The source material we've got actually zeroes in on Irish businesses, specifically looking ahead to 2025. And it highlights services from a particular company, Weimar.
Exactly. So think of this material as giving us one specific viewpoint, almost like a guide. It's arguing how strategic online advertising, from its perspective, can drive real results here right now.
So our mission for this deep dive, well, we want to unpack the key reasons why this source says online ads are essential. We'll explore the specific tools and services it talks about.
A toolkit, basically.
Yeah, the toolkit, and pull out the strategies it recommends for, getting the best results. We're aiming to extract those core nuggets of knowledge you need to understand this landscape, at least according to this material. Okay, sounds good. So where do we start? Maybe with that fundamental argument. Why does the source insist online advertising isn't just like an optional extra anymore?
Yeah, it's pretty direct on that. It basically says that while organic stuff, SEO, building your social media presence without paying, while that's vital, foundational even, it argues that relying only on that just isn't enough if you're after serious growth.
Yeah.
Especially fast growth.
Right.
It positions paid online advertising as, well, one of the most effective ways to kind of bypass that slower organic buildup. Get straight to generating leads, boosting brand awareness, driving sales.
And the source seems to really emphasize the speed you get with paid ads, doesn't it? And the precision. It highlights advantages that are frankly harder or just take way longer to get organically, like instantly driving traffic to your website. That's a huge contrast to waiting for SEO to, kick in over months. And crucially, that ability to target the exact kind of person you want to reach, like right now.
Yeah, and it lists other benefits that build on that. Improving brand awareness by just getting seen by the right people straight away, generating those direct leads and sales we mentioned, and maybe one of the most powerful things, the trackability.
Ah, yes.
The continuous optimization you can do with paid channels.
Yeah.
You see what works, you tweak it, almost in real time.
That's a really important distinction, isn't it? If your business needs results, say, within a particular quarter, or if your ideal customer is super niche, organic can take a lot of upfront work content, time before you see traction.
Right.
So this source is basically presenting paid ads as a more direct route, a faster way to put your message right in front of those specific potential customers.
Okay, so if that's the why, according to this source, what about the what? What's the actual toolkit it describes? How does it suggest you do this online advertising stuff?
It seems to break it down into three main pillars, sort of. First, Google Ads and pay-per-click, or PPC. Second, social media advertising. And third, something called retargeting or remarketing campaigns, which it really emphasizes.
Okay, let's start with Google Ads and PPC. That's usually the first thing people think of for paid visibility online, right? Getting seen when someone's actively searching for something you offer.
Exactly. And the source describes this as, one of the most powerful tools precisely because you're tapping into existing intent. People are already looking. So it highlights the services needed to make that work well. Things like really deep keyword research, not just what people search for, but understanding the intent behind it. Why are they searching?
Right.
Then careful campaign setup, ongoing optimization, that tweaking we mentioned, smart bid management, so you control your costs and get the best bang for your buck.
Return on ad spend, yeah.
Exactly. And of course, robust conversion tracking.
Yeah.
You need to measure the actual business impact, not just clicks.
And it points out Google Ads isn't just those text ads on the search results page either.
Good point.
It mentions display ads, those banners you see on other websites, Google shopping campaigns, which are obviously critical if you're selling products online.
Huge for e-commerce.
And it even touches on retargeting within the Google network itself.
That's key. The source's perspective seems to be about using the whole Google Ads platform, not just scratching the surface, but leveraging all the different formats to really maximize that PPC investment.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's move to the second pillar, social media advertising. The source seems to cover quite a few platforms here. It sees real power in reaching specific groups of people on social.
Oh, definitely. It explicitly lists managing campaigns across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and even Snapchat.
Wow, that's broad.
Yeah, it treats social media not just as a place for organic posts, but as a really sophisticated advertising channel with, very deep targeting options available.
It gives a quick sort of nod to the different strategic uses, doesn't it? Based on its view, anyway, like Facebook for its massive reach and targeting options, Instagram for visuals and storytelling, LinkedIn very specifically for B2B leads and reaching professionals.
Business to business.
Twitter for more real-time stuff, engagement. Pinterest for visual discovery, often linked to shopping.
Yeah, finding products.
And Snapchat for hitting younger demographics.
So what this really highlights, according to the source, is how important it is to pick your platforms carefully. You need to know where your specific audience actually hangs out online.
Sure.
And what kind of content works best for them and for your own business goals. It really pushes this idea of creating custom strategies for each platform, not just blasting the same message everywhere.
Aligning the platform with the objective.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this third category sounds really interesting. Retargeting and remarketing. I think, like, most of us have experienced this, haven't we? You browse for something online, maybe some shoes or a holiday, and then ads for that exact thing seem to follow you around the internet for days.
Precisely. And the source puts a really strong emphasis on this. Why? Because, let's be honest, most people don't buy or convert on their very first visit to a website. It's rare. So retargeting, or sometimes the source calls it smart retargeting, is all about making sure your brand stays visible. But specifically to people who've already shown some interest, they've visited your site, maybe looked at a product, engaged somehow.
I mean, it mentions different sort of flavors of this, too.
Yeah, it does. It talks about dynamic retargeting.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful because it can show ads for the specific products or services someone looked at. Very personalized.
Okay. Yeah.
Then there's standard website retargeting, just getting back in front of past visitors more generally across different websites they visit. And also social media retargeting, so reaching those same past visitors, but on platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn, where they spend a lot of time.
Gotcha.
The crucial point the source makes here is that this isn't about annoying people, ideally. It's about strategically reconnecting with potential leads who were already kind of warm. They showed interest.
Right. They're not cold contacts.
Exactly. So by getting back in front of them, the argument goes, you can significantly improve your conversion rates. The source views this as a really efficient way to spend your ad budget because you're targeting an audience that's already proven its relevance.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we've kind of unpacked the why the source's case for needing online ads and the sort of toolkit of platforms and services it outlines. Google, social, retargeting. Now, the source gets into the how. How do you actually get the best results?
Yeah.
Because as it stresses, just turning ads on isn't enough, right? It's all about strategy.
Absolutely. This section really dives into the operational side, the strategic elements you need for things to perform well. It outlines 4 key areas, essentially.
Okay, what's the first one?
First up, developing a really solid keyword and audience strategy.
Non-negotiable, it sounds like.
Pretty much. The source frames it that way. It's about doing your homework, proper research, analysis to make absolutely sure your ads are being seen by the right people. Either people actively searching for your stuff on Google or people within specific demographics or interest groups on social media that perfectly match your ideal customer.
Makes sense. What's next?
Next is setting a smart budget. And importantly, one that's scalable. Scalable, meaning you might start with a realistic budget, but you need the flexibility and the data to adjust that spending based on how the campaigns are actually performing. The goal, as presented, is to make sure every euro you invest is working as hard as possible and allows you to, grow your investment as you start seeing positive results.
Right. Reinvesting profits or scaling up what works. Okay, number 3.
Number 3, creating high-performing ad copy and visuals, the creative side.
The actual ads themselves.
Exactly. The source stresses that even if your targeting is perfect, the ad itself has to do its job. It needs to grab attention, communicate value really quickly. So it highlights needing compelling, persuasive writing and eye-catching visuals, stuff that's specifically designed to make people click and take action.
And the final key area.
Finally, and this ties back to what we said earlier, implementing meticulous conversion tracking and committing to continuous optimization.
That data-driven approach again.
Paramount, according to this material. It's explicit. Managing successful campaigns is an ongoing process, not a one-off task. They talk about constantly monitoring performance, using the insights you get to refine campaigns.
Like A/B testing.
Yeah, A/B testing, different headlines, images, calls to action, seeing what resonates best, and dynamically optimizing your bids to try and reduce how much you pay per lead or sale while boosting the number of conversions. It's presented as a constant feedback loop.
It really does sound less like a task you just, check off a list, and more like a continuous process, a discipline almost, of data-led refinement.
Precisely. It's positioned as active management, really trying to squeeze every last bit of potential out of those campaigns.
Interesting. The material also seems to circle back to targeting options later on, highlighting 3 specific methods it sees as key for maximizing your return on investment.
Yeah, these kind of build on that earlier discussion about reaching the right audience with precision. It lists contextual targeting, placement targeting, and then revisits retargeting again.
Okay, contextual targeting that's placing ads on websites where the content is relevant to your keywords of what you sell, right?
Exactly. The source sees this as particularly good for Google display campaigns. The argument is if your ad appears in an environment where people are already reading about or engaged with related topics, it feels more relevant, potentially leading to better results, higher conversions.
Makes sense. And placement targeting, that sounds more specific.
That's about handpicking specific websites, maybe industry blogs or news sites where you definitely want your ad to show up. This is framed as being really good for B2B marketing, or if you're in a very niche market. The idea is, by showing up on trusted, authoritative sites within your specific sector, you build credibility and brand recognition directly with that target industry audience.
Gotcha. And then retargeting pops up again, reinforcing its importance.
Specifically reconnecting with those previous visitors who didn't convert the first time around.
Bringing it up again really underlines how valuable the source material considers it, doesn't it?
It really does. It's highlighted again as just a powerful way to convert those customers who were interested but maybe just needed another nudge or more information. And like we touched on, it often comes with a lower cost per conversion because that audience isn't cold. They're already somewhat familiar with you.
Right. So if we try and pull all these threads together from the source material, it paints a pretty clear picture, doesn't it?
Oh.
A strong case that strategic online advertising is, well, essential for businesses aiming for significant growth in 2025.
Yeah.
It outlines that toolkit Google Ads, the big social media channels, and that crucial retargeting piece. But, and this seems key, it really emphasizes that success absolutely hinges on being strategic and data-driven.
Yeah, that combination seems vital in their view. Smart targeting, managing the budget wisely, having compelling creative.
And that relentless optimization based on what the data tells you.
It really focuses on the tangible results this whole approach is supposed to deliver. Generating leads, boosting brand awareness, and directly driving sales. All powered by these targeted campaigns that you're constantly refining based on performance data.
So ultimately, this deep dive into the source material really shows that from its perspective, just hoping people find you organically isn't enough anymore.
Yeah.
Strategic, data-driven online advertising is presented as the powerful, maybe even necessary partner to achieve real business results today.
And throughout the material, there's that consistent drumbeat about understanding your audience deeply and continuously using data to make your campaigns better and better.
Which brings us perfectly to a final thought for you, the listener, to sort of mull over. It builds directly on that emphasis the source puts on audience understanding and using data. The source makes a very strong case for leveraging data to refine your advertising. So here's the question. What specific piece of data about your potential customers, maybe something you don't currently track or don't analyze that deeply, what piece of data might be the most valuable for you to uncover and start using right now? How could that one piece of data potentially help you refine your advertising strategy, whether you're already using paid methods or perhaps just thinking about dipping your toe in? Something to ponder.